Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
All right, I would like to call this meeting to order for Crete Monee School Board regular board meeting. Today is Tuesday, May the 20th, 2025, 6:30 p.m., 18:30 military time. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Ms. Venegas,
Here.
Mr. Sawalish,
Here.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
Sites Stumbris is here, Mr. Gallegos,
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here. All right, let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Board Vice President Mr. Gallegos, followed by a mission statement led by our Board Secretary, Mrs. Zeiss Stumbris.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our mission is to engage and empower our students to positively impact their community and future.
Thank you both. Do we have any public comments? Sure. Okay. Thank you. All right, do we have any board updates?
Yeah, last week I forgot to mention that ELC had put on, or no, BPAC had put on a Cinco de Mayo celebration here at the ELC. My youngest was one of the performers in the talent show, so that was fun. Food was great. It was very well attended, and it looked like the kids all had fun, so it was a good time. Good time.
Good. Good fun and good food, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a great combination. Any other board updates? Thank you, Alex. I just want to follow up on the committee positions from last week. We had a few open spots that we needed to fill, and one was the IASB position, and a delegate to lead that committee. So I asked if Bill Sawalish take that position. Sure. Okay, thank you. And I think we had one open spot for the insurance committee. I think Bill is on that committee. We need another person. I think Dr. Hall currently has that position. Would you want to continue on in that position?
I don't have it, but I requested to be on it.
Okay, I thought Bill said that. Bill, who's on there with you? Just you by yourself?
It was
Nelson?
Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl.
Yeah, it was Cheryl.
Okay, would you like to?
Yes.
Okay, appreciate it. So make note, Cheryl. Capture that? Okay, great. I have no other board updates. Anyone else? Thank you. Administrative updates. Superintendent, on some good news.
I do. So I've got two items on here. One, I have asked for Mr. Konecki to really showcase some of the highlights that have been going on in his department with some of our students over the last month or so. We've been impressed by all the emails that have been coming through and all the great accomplishments. So we wanted to highlight those students this evening. So Mr. Konecki?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Maybe before we start with talking about any of our accomplishments, I'd be remiss as a coach to not acknowledge many of my team members, obviously the Board of Education for your support, Mr. Hollyfield, Ms. Creasos for your support at both the high school and the middle school, Ms. Kostelnik, our administrative assistant, who makes sure that everything in our office runs on a regular and consistent basis, Matt Mueller, who we wouldn't know any of the fantastic things that we're doing if we're out without his efforts in our social media campaign. I mean, we're up to this last month we had over 300,000 unique views on Instagram, which reached 28,000 accounts, just to give you an idea. And then obviously the work that we've done at the middle school with Matt Holzer, Callie, Miss Anderson, and Miss Scheffler have just been outstanding. in front of you, Dr. Coglanese, is a soccer ball, and that soccer ball was signed by the inaugural members of both the boys and girls middle school team that we added this past year at the middle school. And so that's for you and your office. And before I move on, I wanted to discuss that at the middle school, since we've started, we've also we've brought back girls softball as well as added boys baseball. In addition to that, we've hosted 5 different IESA regional events, which are similar to the IHSA events, which have not been taking place previously at the middle school. And I just think that, obviously we've done a fantastic job with adding a number of opportunities and different things for our students, throughout the entire school district. And I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to thank those individuals today. A couple of groups that the winter seems to be the longest and the shortest season that don't often get highlighted. I wanted to discuss our chess team this year won conference again. It's the 3rd consecutive year, but most importantly, if not more importantly, they took 4th overall in 3A, according to the Illinois, Chess Coaches Association, which was the first for us. It's the first time we won 5 games or 5 matches in the IHSA event. We had our first female wrestler win a match in the IHSA regional series, Miss Destiny Wilson. She's a 9th grader. Nathaniel Wiley Harrigan received the #1 ranking in the state of Illinois for his trumpet play, and he'll attend the prestigious Peabody Institute. Our band just recently competed at the Party at the Parks, where we had 4 first places, 1 second place, 2 best overalls, and best symphonic band, and Nathan Wiley for best soloist. So those are fantastic achievements that took place. We weren't able to necessarily highlight, in a large group setting. Obviously we're highlighting them individually. Which then brings me to why we're here today. And not often at board meetings do you hear quotes from General Patton, but I thought that I would utilize this today. General Patton had a great quote. He said, "You can't defend anything. There's just attack and attack and attack some more." And then Mr. Romar, if you come on up here, and Coach Posey, just come on up here, and I'll go ahead and talk about you. Omar is our back-to-back FC, formerly FIFA, state champion in esports. We started the program. Congratulations to you. Right. So we started this program as a club, right? Then we transitioned into an IHSA activity. This is our 2nd year. We've had 2 consecutive state championships during that time frame. Omar is in rarefied air at the high school. We've only had 3, himself included, student athletes who won consecutive state titles. Shelly McBride, who's honestly probably our most decorated student athlete, and then Rashad Holbert, who won back-to-back state titles in hurdles at the state meet, and now obviously Omar Romo and his prowess in FC. So congratulations to Omar and Mr. Posey. All right, so which brings me to, yes, take a seat. We'll take some pictures at the end, right? Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we've done a fantastic job this past season with is on our baseball team. A lot of people would say if it wasn't nailed down, it might be stolen. And that's a really bad pun and really bad dad joke, but which is a fantastic segue for me to bring up Mr. Bren Milburn. Bren, you want to come up here? And both coaches can come on up here. So Bren has broken every, and I mean every record there is when it comes to stolen bases. Not only for Crete Monee, which he broke last year, stand right here. He has broken every single record the state has as well when it comes to single season career stolen bases. So this past yesterday, we played Thornridge High School, and Bren had 4 stolen bases. If he had 5 in an inning, he would have actually tied the national record. But he had 4, so that puts you at 2nd to the national record with, I'm sure, with a slew of other individuals. But Bren stole number 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, and 79. So now he has the single placeholder as the all-time record holder for single season stolen bases. Presently, however, in addition to that, if this wasn't enough, you're also 11th all-time in the United States for stolen bases in a single season, and we're sitting with three guaranteed games, right? With 3 guaranteed regular season games, which if things were to trend, and I'm not saying that they're going to trend this way, but if I were going to predict, I would say that, and I've looked at the numbers, that he could be as high as 5th all-time stolen bases in the United States of America. So congratulations, amazing achievement for you. Brent will continue on with his, education while playing baseball at Morton College, and we look forward to many fantastic things. So congrats to you.
Wow.
To both Coach Milburn and Coach Meyer. Yes. And then, last but not least, if I'd ask my 2 track coaches to come up here, and so, everybody knows this. I coach still, and I coached outside on our wonderful facility that we had, and I loved it, and I loved everything that came along with it. I loved the home field advantage that was attached to it. It was a fantastic space to work at, and we have a wonderful opportunity here in this school district to put in an amazing sportsplex. We had a problem, though. We were losing a track, right? And so in the winter, the fall, I went to both my track coaches, both Coach Lee and Coach Franklin. I said, it's really tough. I don't know if we're going to be able to have it. We have an indoor track. It's 160 meters, okay? And so that's our space, and that's the space that we get to work in. And they had, and I brought them up here because I really want to brag about just a can-do attitude, right? A lot of people said, oh, we could have just, that's just, this season will be one of the seasons that we just get through it and it'll be okay. And that wasn't the case with my group of coaches, the boys track team and the girls track team. There was no complaints. They just went to work every day. And honestly, they put their head down like you ask out of anybody, and you ask out of anybody in athletics. And so they didn't have there was no jump hits. We broke the record, our own record for the triple jump this year. We didn't have any exchange zones. We didn't have shot put circles, discus circles, high jump pits, right? You name it. And while all those things are stacked against you, right, and it's a lot of adversity to overcome, and it is a testament to the character of the men that are standing next to me, as well as the student athletes that we work with. This 2 weeks ago, we went to the boys conference meeting. We walked away as the Southland Athletic Conference champions, and that to me is just an outstanding job, right? It is the second year in a row that we were named, that we earned the right of being conference champions. It's only the second time that's ever happened in school history. 1974 and 1975 are the only other 2 times that we were back-to-back. And I just had to bring, both Coach Lee and Coach Franklin up here, because I had to just say that. I just wanted to point it out that, like, oftentimes as a coach, and I guess really a lot of other things, you can say, you know what, odds are stacked against me, I quit, right? And to me, there's nothing better as a coach and as somebody who's an active participant in athletics and activities to see, perseverance to overcome some tremendous obstacles. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Yes.
With that being said, we are looking forward to closing out the spring semester, hopefully with some more hardware. We'll continue to update the board as those things come through. I appreciate all of your support. The students in the school district appreciate all your support. We're doing some fantastic things, and I look forward to many, many successes to come. Thank you.
All right.
I have one question.
You have a question? Sure.
Yes, of course. Did we, I don't know if it was this year or last year, where we had a female break the stolen base record for the school?
It was this year.
It was this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taliana Ramirez just broke the school record. She broke her record this year, yes.
Okay.
She broke her own record, yes.
Her own
broke her own record, yes. So,
Cool,
yes. Yeah,
cool,
both, yes.
cool. Good job.
We steal a lot of bases. We're doing a fantastic job stealing bases, so.
We got a track team that's fast, baseball.
Yeah, speed.
Yeah, speed.
Fast. It's district policy, right? That's But we're also, in addition to that, I did leave out that the boys team total is at 290 stolen bases for the year. The state record is 294. We'll obviously be in a situation where we're going to crush that, and it's really a testament to, like I said before, our kids and our coaches, to the time and effort that they put in. And obviously, we couldn't do any of the things that we do without the support of the Board of Education and the high school and the middle school. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Perkins will grab some pictures of you guys, and then we'll have that for social media and our website.
All right, Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I just would like to say, you know, for the young man that's still in all those bases, and a lot of people forget, he's just not a base stealer. You have to get on base, right? Either walks or hits or whatever, he has to get on base. And Coach, you went back way. Did you say Shelley McBride?
Shelley McBride, yes, sir.
I think like 1983,
Yeah.
4.
Part of my job is to make sure that I'm the historian.
Yeah,
So
I
have to
see.
I have to make sure that,
Yeah.
accurate record keeping and totals are very important so that, the groups that came before you are honored.
Yes.
And then the groups that are here and then the groups that come after you can, have all those records in place so they can see them and they can strive for those as well. And it's always nice for guys and girls to come back and say, their pictures on the wall, or I should say their marks on the wall. And so we try to do a really good job of keeping accurate records.
Wow, I'll just take you back a little history. Coach Franklin, I've been knowing him for 30 years, and one of the Nationals, the first year that I met him, went to the Nationals. It was at AAU, actually. It was a summer track. That was 1995, thereabout, to North Carolina. And his family and his in-laws are just dynamic. They bring a lot of key players in different capacities, especially track, into the district. So good job, Coach, and Coach Lee over there too. All right, good job, guys. I hope you like the new track. All right. All right. Not now, not with dirt, okay? We can get it all taped out. So thanks, Coach Konecki. Thank you all for all you do. Okay, are we moving on?
All right, we're going to continue on. I've asked Dr. Luna to take those pictures for us so that Dr. Perkins can give a little bit of an update. As we are working very hard to complete our year this year and planning for next year, we've got summer school that's going to be coming up, and so we've got some exciting things coming up. So I've asked for Dr. Perkins just to give an update on summer school that's soon.
Good evening to the board and Dr. Coglianese, our students and families at home and staff. So here's a quick update, and then I can answer any questions that you have about summer school. So our summer school in general, so the public knows, is dedicated to giving additional learning opportunities throughout the summer for about 500 students is what we serve historically each year. We try to do a small teacher to staff and support staff ratio, and then we try to individualize what that support looks like for those students. And we go from pre-K to 12. We have credit recovery for our high school students, enrichment opportunities for our 4th grade, our band students, and our 8th graders do STEM, or 9th graders, incoming 9th graders do STEM. And then we offer, again, opportunities to close any learning gaps that we have over the school year. We begin identifying our students in March. That comes from the Office of Teaching and Learning, and we work with our principals to make sure that we are getting the right information for our students, including MAP scores, course performance, attendance, and discipline. We work with our guidance counselors at the high school, and then they take care of the recommendations for those students, especially as they're finishing up their finals for those students who need credit recovery for the summer. We have tiered programs, again, doing 2 classrooms every year for our ELC students, and then we also offer additional programs for our bilingual and EL students. Family invitations go out in May, and then we follow up after receiving digital emails from our team. We also follow up with individual phone calls to those families. We try to make sure that if there's a sibling that's going, that we try to get in our siblings as well. We do take parent requests after our slots have been filled. I know a question was asked of, do we close registration? We don't. We keep it open as long as we possibly can to, again, fill as many slots as we can. We hire anywhere from 45 to 50 teachers every year, about 10 Educator Rising students, and about 25 to 30 paraprofessionals. And then it's held at 3 locations: Monee Elementary for the elementary pre-K level, at the middle school, and then at the high school. Positions are posted for our staff in March. We hire those coordinators first, then our teachers, Educator Rising students, and then our paraprofessionals. At times, we do have to hire some external high school teachers, again, depending on if we have any internal candidates or if we need credit recovery in a certain area for our high school students. The calendar is planned in February or March. That is when our dates are selected. High school students attend, they have to have 60 credit hours for each semester. They attend for 12 days for each session. We run 2 sessions for that. And then elementary, depending on the dates, can run anywhere from 20 to 24 days. We try to give flexibility, again, to our families and welcome in any siblings if that supports them. Funding can sometimes be a little tricky for us. It's 100% grant funded. And we try to, again, register and get as many students that we possibly can. And historically, again, that runs about 500 across all sites. Questions?
Yeah, you said you post jobs for the teachers in March?
February or March.
February or March.
Yes.
In those job postings, do you include dates?
Yes.
So the teachers know what they're signing up for?
Yes, so there's a full job description, and it has the date range of when we will host summer school.
Okay.
I will tell you that historically, for the high school, we try to start as soon as that Monday afterwards, and then it usually starts the following Monday for our elementary students. For instance, this year, high school starts on June 6th, and elementary, or June 9th, and then elementary starts on June 16th.
Okay, and then what metric are you looking at to invite students to summer school?
We use a multitude of measures, and again, that kind of starts in March. We use our MAP data, we use discipline data.
What MAP scores are you looking at? Are you looking at spring?
At times, sometimes we can, but we start with those winter scores, and then we constantly look at them, and then again include discipline data and academic data, grades, and a slew of other access scores, multiple data points.
Because I remember I touched on this last year, but I also asked a lot of the school board members at the speed meeting, and it was around this time, and they said that they had everything all squared away and they had everything set in place, and it felt like we were scrambling. It felt like we were just getting things in place just in time to do summer school. And I wanted to know, is there a scramble right now, or?
There's absolutely no scramble.
Okay.
We absolutely give our students and families what they need. We hire as many staff members as we can to take care of them. There is no scramble.
Do we know how many families decline summer school because of scheduling conflicts?
I don't have the exact number of how many decline. I can tell you we probably send out about 600, 700 invitations per year. Okay. But if we run around 500, again, it really depends on what those needs are. But again, we follow up, we give individual phone calls to each of those families that an invitation has gone out to.
Okay. So you said we do use spring map scores, correct?
We use winter map scores to start off in March, and then our spring scores just came in. So we're still looking at those scores as well.
Okay. Would you say that there's a lot of students that qualify for summer school, like when the winter scores come in and then like they don't need summer school come the spring?
I would have to run some comparison data in terms of what students we've moved off of the list. But again, it's that constant looking at where they're performing with their grades, looking where they're performing at with their MAP scores, looking at their discipline, their SEL needs, again, taking in the whole child to see exactly what they need.
Sure. I'm just wondering, like, if we could propose summer school to kids earlier, that would give them the incentive, because some kids don't want to do summer school. That would give them the incentive to, like, do better in school, do better on tests, not have to do.
Well, I think it has to do with when those MAP scores are coming in, because they're coming in late.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that it is, I mean, I won't say summer school is fun for any child wanting to do it, but I will say that we're trying to offer incentives like STEM camps. We're working with the University of Illinois right now to so that it doesn't seem punitive. Our students set goals, so they have their goal-setting conversations with their teachers. They have those goal conversations with their parents. They're constantly updating and making reflections on how they're going to do better. And again, historically, as a district, what we know is that our kids tend to trend lower, but the longer they stay with us and work with us, they grow with us.
Okay. And I'm not trying to jump on Jantel or anything.
Oh, no.
You know,
I'm here to answer your questions.
yeah, like I know that summer school is a resource that we can offer our kids, you know, and we want our kids to be up here educationally, you know, academically. And it's like if we're scrambling, if we're doing everything last minute, like how can we expect our kids to be up here when we're doing everything last minute down here? So
When you say last minute, I don't know
Like-
what you're
like-
referring to, because it's not, I don't know that it's last minute.
just because other schools, because I told you I talked to the school members at other schools at the speed meetings. They had everything already set. Everything was invites had gone out. Teachers were they knew what the schedule was, and I think. Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
No,
Because I
no.
can almost guarantee you that summer school is not that pretty and set out that easy, because I've run summer school.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of last minute stuff, taking low hanging fruit. And the district you talking about that go to speed, the board members probably don't have a clue what's going on with summer school. Why would they? Like, that wouldn't be.
Well,
I'm not saying that you.
Right.
They may not be telling you the truth.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for them to understand what's going on.
Yeah. So
quote on the dance floor.
Yeah.
What's something
So
like that.
last year, I just I printed out like little strips, like survey questions, and I passed it out to them. Like, has your school or has your district started summer school and stuff like that? And a lot of people
Have they started summer school?
No, not start, but like have everything planned out and have everything like ironed out, get all the kinks out already before summer school even starts. You know what I mean? Like, so that's I gave them I emailed them and handed them a survey question, and then they responded back to me for the next speed meeting. But they said that everything that they asked about when they asked their superintendent about the summer school, like they had already
And these are elementary level kids. Like high school is a little easy because you're looking at if they have credit shortages.
Yeah, it was,
But with
it was
elementary, it's a little
all the
different.
kids in speed, so like that's everybody, isn't it? I
How-
know.
How about we
Well-
do this? How about we do this? If you can come with a template of best practices or something from a district or whatever, and share it with Dr. Coglin and Dr. Perkins on this is how they do it, and see what we have and do a comparison. And say, we're doing this, we're
Okay.
doing this, we're not doing this, but this is a good idea, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, you
I
got best
personally
practice?
think that's, I would like, I mean, maybe I'll say, I would like to see what your I don't need to see it. I think we talk about being on the dance floor every time, all the time. I think that we have never really had major complaints when it comes to summer school. And maybe you could show us what you do.
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
do what
can-
he tell you, whatever he requests. but-
Absolutely.
And
I
that's
mean,
what,
that's
I
my
guess,
thought.
you know, we're talking about best practices. Alex is saying that he's seeing best practices out there. And if he does, let's get them, let's compare and say, hey, this is a good idea. There's nothing wrong with doing best practices.
Absolutely.
That's
I
all.
do want to say for speed though, theirs is considered an extended school year, and that goes in a child's IEP, and so that planning does look different than what we're offering to our students. We do have students with IEPs that attend summer school, but extended school year looks a lot different.
Yeah, no, this isn't speed, these are other representatives.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
For-
so
yeah.
apples to apples. That's
Yeah,
what we want to
yeah.
compare, apples to apples.
Well,
Gotcha.
we're the only unit district there at speed, so there's
But
a
maybe
lot
you
of
can
like,
go out and do
there's a
this.
lot of like elementary
Yeah.
and then high school, so, they're separated.
But there's nothing wrong with obtaining best practices, and no matter how good we are, we can always get better.
Yeah.
And that's when you're just looking for opportunities to get better.
To
That's
get
it.
better.
Not saying we're doing bad,
No,
but to
no.
get better.
Yeah.
Quick question. Can you talk about what is credit recovery? Meaning, I think I know what it means, phonetically, but is it a 9th grade thing? Is it by the 10th grade if you're not at a certain level, you're recommended? Is it mandatory? What happens when you're 11th grade and it doesn't look hopeful to you? What does credit recovery mean?
So it means just that I failed a course, either first semester or second semester, and we offer that course to you in summer school so that you can recover that credit that you missed out on.
Oh, so it's not a graduation credit? That's what I thought.
It is part of your graduation. It is part of your graduation credit, but you're going to recover it in summer school because you failed that course in first semester or second semester. So we're giving you an opportunity to get that credit on your transcript and get it through summer school.
Okay, so I only if I fail a class.
Correct. And we do have.
What if I fail more than one class? I guess I'm trying to think if I'm in 11th grade, I should have, three credits of something? I don't know.
3 credits of English.
English.
Yes.
So I only have 2. So here I am thinking I'm going into senior year because I've been here 4 years. I think I'm a senior. What do we do? Is that a credit recovery circumstance? Is that
It is, and our guidance counselors do a wonderful job of auditing our
Okay.
students' transcripts.
Okay.
And contacting those families and saying, hey, your child needs this, here's how we can make up that credit for them.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, that guidance counselor would do both things.
Yes,
So the
Okay.
credit recovery, if you're behind each year, they're having the same guidance counselor should say, hey, you're on this track, you should do this. And in the same sense, they would recommend summer school.
yes.
So you
Okay.
don't
And they're
necessarily- I'm sorry.
No, but they're reaching out, right? Am I, go ahead.
You shouldn't necessarily have to only take for credit recovery summer school.
Correct.
They do
Correct.
have it during the school year.
Yeah,
Some
okay.
students, I'm sure, want to advance or be ahead or do something further in that subject or of a requirement. If the guidance counselor says, if you're going to go into this program in college, you should really have X amount of years of this, and if they only had 3 from the beginning and they need a 4th, I'm assuming the guidance counselor is going to be humongous tool and help and they've been really great at the high school.
Yes,
So-
they do a wonderful job with reaching out to those families and students and making sure they get that credit, and or if there are opportunities for them to have an elective like Spanish. I'm sorry, Dr.
Do we now
Hall.
allow students to take credits to classes to get ahead? Because in the past, we didn't.
We
Is that a
can, for instance, this year we do have Spanish 1 being offered as an elective. So that's if you want to take that to get ahead. A lot of times our classes are built around credit recovery because
No, I
we
mean,
have
like,
students.
can you go to summer school
Yes.
to get ahead?
Yes, if we have the courses that are offered, yes.
But
it's
if you
available.
get ahead, you can't do we have
Okay, early graduation?
yeah.
December,
Yes.
We do,
Yeah.
okay.
right? December?
Yes,
Well, 'cause
December
we had
every
a
year
basketball player last year do it, and she wanted to come back and play, but she couldn't. So,
because she
Because
graduated.
she graduated. Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Last year, I know there was last-minute transportation notification. Is there any way to get that information to parents sooner?
So transportation, we do work with Mrs. Cooper to make sure that we get out transportation. At the high school, that is the only deadline. I know the question was asked, like, do we close registration? And again, we want to help as many students as we possibly can. But there's, the only deadline is high school transportation closes like a week ahead of time so that we can guarantee that those students get it.
I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't clear.
Okay.
Parents weren't notified of pickup time until the day before. Like, it didn't
Okay.
appear in Skyward, so you didn't know what time to get your kid up and ready until, I mean, they're responsible human beings, but you know what I'm saying. Is there a way to give them more than 8 to 12 hours notice?
Yes, I will check on that particular. I had not heard that, but Mrs. Cooper sets the deadline for all students that are registered or invited, and she receives those names. She starts working on that transportation right away. So,
And it might have just been an upload, like timeline
Yeah.
thing, so I'm not sure.
yeah, I will check on that because I don't recall that.
Perfect, thank
So
you.
you work with is Mrs. Cooper in your department?
Mrs. Cooper is in Mr. Okrasinski's department for transportation,
So then
but
what-
she's,
Whatever system you all use, she puts it in the system, and then it generates when, and so she doesn't do it ahead of time, as students come. She does it once she has all the students. Jason, how does that work?
If she's forwarded a list prior to, she could start working on routing those students. It's just, as Dr. Perkins said, getting that deadline, adhering to it. So, because last day of students' attendance is June 5th at the high school, and then summer school, starts on June 9th. So if people are proactive and Dr. Perkins' office shares it with Ms. Cooper, she could begin looking at routing those students. It's, her getting access to the list, and Dr. Perkins and I have talked in collaboration to kind of make it a smoother process this year, hence the deadline, I believe, correct, Dr. Perkins?
yes, so her deadline for high school students, and this is in the registration packet to those students, that says March 29th. If she has them registered, because high school students register themselves and the counselors register them, but if she has it by March 29th, they are guaranteed a route for that June 9th date. And that doesn't mean for, again, that first session that they won't have a date at all. It just means that on that first day for transportation, she needs those names and students registered by May 29th.
So the problem you sound like you might have is traditionally people wait till the last minute or after the deadline, correct?
Yes.
So that's what causes some of the scrambling around and trying to get stuff done, because you don't always know how many students you're gonna have, who's gonna show up, when they're gonna show up.
Then they sign up after the deadline, and
Yes.
then everybody's
We don't
gonna.
wanna turn them away. If we turn them away, they're gonna find somebody to complain.
And I will say again, Mrs. Cooper does a wonderful job of meeting those students, and she gets, those students, to school and works it out for even our families that accept the invitation late. All right?
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. very good conversation. Thank you. All righty. That leads us up to number 7, consent agenda approval. Is there anyone want to take anything out of the consent agenda as a separate item to vote on? If not, can I have a motion to?
There was one thing that I noticed in the financial report.
Okay.
I wanted to ask.
Hold on. Do you want to take that out?
Oh,
And we can talk about it after we get the motion and moved.
no, I don't.
Okay, we can still talk about it. Let's get a motion.
You wanted to take it out?
No.
Oh.
Are you looking to take it out?
I guess if
You're looking to take, okay.
yeah, because we don't talk about the consent agenda. I guess, right?
We do. We
Oh.
can talk.
We just need the
discuss.
motion and
need
then
to get it on
second,
the
and then we
floor.
can have
Oh, okay.
discussion.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we got it, motion by Bill and moved by Dr. Hall. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda?
Yeah. So in the financial report, I saw Elim Christian Services, and I was just wondering what that is. I think it may have something to do with speed. I'm not sure.
I could look up the vendor specific information and get back to you.
Okay.
I believe Elam is a out-of-district, special ed entity.
It looked like you said, I wrote that down too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
Because when I look at the financial report, I only look at large numbers, like, and that one actually turned out to be like $38,000.
I believe that's Elam is, I think, a special ed facility.
Yes,
Okay.
it is tuition for 4 students.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was 12,300. I think it's 17. I know I wrote a couple of them.
You wrote 2 there, 22 and 15.
Okay, did we get we got the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? I did, on an individual basis, since the board members, including our financial team, Brian, somehow your email got kicked back to me, but I did ask the financial team, Jason and his team, to kind of look at the financial report, 108 pages of it. Typically, we get 100 pages, and kind of see if he can kind of condense it to a little bit more meat on a couple pages as opposed to sending out the whole report, but yet having the report readily available as needed by a board member who wants to see it. So he's going to get back, his team is going to get back to us. If you have any input, suggestions, anything like that, I did receive one suggestion. I'll pass that over to the financial team as well on what we can add or don't add. So you should have had an email regarding that topic. Okay, there's no other further discussion on the consent agenda. I'm not going to have the superintendent read that, each line item. Pretty cumbersome at this point, so, and she agree? Yes, sir. Right. So I would like roll call, please.
Mr. Sawalish,
Aye.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
Ms. Venegas,
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Zeit Stumbris is an aye. Mr. Gallegos,
Aye.
Mr. Brown,
Aye, motion carry. That takes us to number 8, action report, number A, Alpha Business. Number 1, could I have a motion to approve the resolution abating the working cash fund of Crete Monee Community Unit District 201U, Will County, Illinois, in the amount of $20 million.
So moved.
Moved by Alex. I second. Second by Dr. Hall. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Venegas,
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
Mr. Sawalish,
Aye.
Zeit Stumbris is an aye. Gallegos,
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos, I'm so sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye, motion carried. Could I have a motion to approve number 8, action report, alpha, number 2, under business, establish a date for the 2024-2025 amended budget public hearing, June 10th, 2025.
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Alex. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call please, Madam Secretary.
Mr. Sawalish,
Aye.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
Ms. Venegas,
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Zeit Stumbris is an aye. Mr. Gallegos,
Aye.
Mr. Brown,
Aye, motion carry. Old business, any old business? I think it's, no, this can, if no one else have any old business. I think this one that came up at the committee as a whole regarding the policy as relating to what responsibilities do organizations have regarding using logos, showing their finances to the board or admin team. And our council submitted and reviewed the policy, so I would like him to talk on it. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. You do have a straightforward policy on this. It's policy 8:90 regarding parent organizations and booster clubs. And as Mr. Brown speculated last week, organizations do have to receive the superintendent's approval to use the likeness and logo, and should have bylaws that reflect their procedures. And I know the specific question that was asked last week was about financial accountability. And your policy does say that each one of these organizations should conduct an annual review of their financial records that's performed by an accountant or an auditing firm, and that the final report should be shared with their own members and then forwarded to the district's business manager for purposes of having it on record that they've completed a review each year. The policy does go on to say that permission to use district names or logos may be rescinded by the board at any time. And so I suppose that would include for any kind of financial malfeasance. That's what your policy says. Any questions?
how do we define should in this situation? Because, I mean, there are a lot of things I should do, but I don't know that I'm gonna. So I guess, how are we I'm literally wondering. Because, like, that doesn't mean they have to.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's how I was understanding it.
That's correct. They don't have to. But again, you know, the board, it's pretty open-ended. It's pretty discretionary, right? With respect to the board's authority to grant permission to use the likeness and logo. So to the extent that, you know, the board feels like an organization is not above board, then I think it would be within your discretion to also mandate that they conduct that financial review if they want to continue to use the likeness or logo.
Question, to the business office, you said that's where they would submit it. Has that been done? I don't know who I'm talking to. Oh, okay, no.
I can say no.
Ever? Last 10 years? What kind
It
of
may have been
timeframe?
done when they first wrote the policy, but not on my shift.
To my knowledge, we've never received any sort of financial information from any boosters or PTOs or anything.
Okay.
So what we can do is put out that request now and say the board is looking at this policy. We will get some information out to them. And then we can update you through the FYI that it has been done or if those submissions have been done.
But I think Jamie had a good point, and I saw that word too, should, as opposed to shall, mean, should. And just by that notion of the word should, you can have some organizations say, hey, I don't have to. But, and is it the intent of the board with that policy to say this is something we want? And should we include that word? Should we change that word? Or, and again, I don't want to be a stickler on this, but I think whoever came about that policy at that time, the board, they were looking at some checks and balances here. That's all. And I think I feel good just them communicating, the organizations communicating with the business department and saying, hey, this is our finance, here it is, and never even have to come to the board. But as long as we have that process in place, and again, we have policies, we have board policies, and I'm a stickler on policies, and as well as all of us should be, we should follow our policies best we could. And there's other policies out there, I'm sure, that we have been a little, because of not knowing the full intent of the policies, have not been following it. But now, when you know better, you do better. So, and our freshman at one point had the title, brought that up a couple weeks ago. I'm like, wow. And I remember years ago that came up, but it never got resolved to the intent that these organizations were following the policy.
If I may, I'm not also looking for a dance floor type of thing.
Yeah, it's a board policy.
It was just more so just wondering how efficient are we? If we have a whole education foundation, what are they raising the money for and what are they doing with it? And if I'm only raising $3,000 a year, is it even effective? I don't know. So it was just more so, how do we just even have conversations with our fundraising arms, whether it's a PTO or boosters or whatever, just to say, so what y'all doing? You know, and just to know what's going on and how can we be better? Because what if we are only raising $1,000 a year? I wonder if there's things that we could do differently or some ideas we could do to make the programming and the fundraising arms of these organizations better support our school board, like, you know, their intent. So that was my intent of bringing that up. And so I know we had some discussion last week about, do we really want to get all in our organization's business? And that wasn't it for me. It was just more so of just understanding how can we be better if they're support, you know, if we're using them as support arms and an extension of who we are.
But the policy in and of itself is pretty meaty. It's pretty meaty when I read it. I didn't recall all of that, but I'm like, oh, wow, kind of says it all here. But again, to keep the vagueness out of it and have a policy that's considered a good standard, do we want to change that word from should to shall? Because it's very subjective now, just from that one word. Yeah, we don't have to do it now, but I'm just saying we don't have to take action now. But is that something we want to maybe talk about more? I don't want to beat a dead horse, but
I think it might be something you want to talk about, because if I think Dr. Coglianese, in the last year, I think you've tried to work with the PTOs, and they're going away, right? Like, they're harder to come about.
They've actually rebounded quite a bit.
Which is good, because remember, about a year and a half ago, how bad were they?
Yes, once we started meeting as a group, we started getting them to work with one another, and now they're up and running and meeting on their own now with one another.
See,
each school, right?
Yeah,
and I'm sure the board probably feel the same way. What I don't want is some organizations doing this and some organizations not. I think we need holistic collective standard. Again, either we have the policy, we take the policy out, or we have the policy that have some assurance that everybody follow a standard. This way, with the word, in my opinion, council, should and shall is so subjective. And if we say, you know what, let's do away with the policy, I'm fine with that too. But if we keep it, I think that word should be changed so everybody can follow the same course of action.
Do we need to put it on the agenda for next regular meeting?
I mean, we can hash it out at a committee as a whole, and then vote on it. Obviously, we can't take action tonight. It's not an action item.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that that's something we want to do. We're not taking action. I'm just looking at as for a consensus to move forward to further talk about that.
I think we would need to define what a professional accounting is. That may be burdensome to some of these to get a professional like forensics accountant in there or just to look over it.
So not everything's free.
Right.
Right.
So for like a
as much as they're
PTO, so
fundraising,
as much as they're fundraising, then we're going to have them put out a couple $100 a year to get an
'Cause-
accounting. So what I think we need to figure out is what we're looking for, like bank statements. Are we looking for a complete accounting, like dime by dime?
So that's a great point because at Show Choir, we just had to have ours done and it cost $1,200. So everything that we fundraised, it's $1,200. And if you're asking people to do that, if you're saying shall, then you got to make sure that, and it says in our policy to have someone financially look, that's a great point because it cost us $1,200 to have that done professionally because it's non-for-profit. No one wants to deal with it. It took us a year to find someone to do that. So now the organizations are, it's not going to be, unless you're going to find somebody to do it for free or pro bono. And I'm telling you right now, even to pay somebody was absolutely terrible.
And I don't know how much bake sales make.
Well, how about this, Jamie and Bill? Do we think, again, I know there's some things need to be changed, it sounds like. Do we think this is a policy that we want? And if so, Jamie, this is going to be your first policy assignment with our superintendent. They go and kind of revise it, tweak it or whatever, then bring it back to the board. If any board members have any input on it, get it to you and our superintendent to look at that policy, bring it back to the committee as a whole. We can discuss it.
I think there's an easy way to just be like, boom, bank statements, and that would then cover it up. Like, just ask them for your W whatever, or something like that.
You could do, I guess a simple way to look at it
But
is.
we okay as a consensus to keep the policy, but just, tweak it?
Yeah, I think especially if somebody's misusing our logo, that's problematic, or using it nefariously. I get concerned when we're then burdening the people doing good works with this extra cost that will then take away from the kids. So I think if there's a way that we could figure out how to do it without costing these small groups money, I'm all about it.
Yeah, and it could be just a review from our business group.
And all of that is perfect.
Just a business, they can kind of look at it and say, hey, this is without holding the district accountable.
Right.
They can look at it. They can have
I know the financial burden, and a lot of these things are covering, like these boosters are covering things for people who can't afford them, so then they've got to cut back on. So just a way to keep it financially easier on everyone.
Okay, so that's great. So you want to get with the superintendent over the next?
I would love
no
nothing
rush.
more.
It can be maybe by September or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, bring back to the board and board members. If you have any questions or anything you would like to have changed, shoot it to Jamie. You are a policy person, and you get paid $500 a year. You just haven't got the money yet.
Oh, okay. I wasn't planning on taking it either. So
All right, great. Okay, thank you, Council, for getting that back to us, and that was very helpful when I saw it. Appreciate it. Okay, any other old business?
I have one. It was just to see if there was any other names to submit from any of the districts regarding the name of the facilities. Otherwise, we can try again next time.
Can I email you or text you the name?
Yeah, we have to say it in open session. But I think you've already given me one, but I don't know if you have a confirmation on that name.
I didn't get a confirmation, that's why. But
Okay. Yeah, we can wait another, like I said, we're not in a rush.
do I need to get a confirmation or can you get a confirmation?
Well, so the idea is you're supposed to go talk to that person to see, and then you're supposed to say, yes, this person has agreed to serve on this committee.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can wait until next time. So I'll try to put a tickler reminder out for you folks to,
Okay, great. Did everybody get their little bio and all of that too?
Yes,
Superintendent, we got that taken care of? Okay. Great, excellent. Any other old business? New business? Okay, we do have a reason to go into closed session And I do want to ask our counsel this. In closed session, we have no other action other than adjourn. Can we adjourn in closed session? Now I'm putting you on the spot. If we have no other action. And if we had action, well, we just come out of closed session, but can we adjourn in closed session? After we finish closed session, do we have to come back in open session to adjourn?
You can adjourn in closed session,
We can.
as long as you're informing the public that you're not coming back into open session.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, sir. So I would like a motion to go into closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees.
So moved.
Moved by Alex. Second by Janine. We need a roll call. Can I do all in favor? Do a roll call. Roll call.
Ms. Venegas.
Aye.
Hello.
Ms. Wolfo.
Aye.
Hello.
Dr. Hall.
Aye.
Mr. Sawallish.
Aye.
Ms. Lightstumber says an aye. Mr. Gallegos.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye. Motion carry. We will be in closed session for about 30 minutes, and we will not be taking any further action once we finish closed session. We will be adjourning in closed session. Thank you. Thank you for joining, public, and have a great remaining of your evening.